Hello my dear students, welcome to Sankalp Learning Classes. In this video, we are discussing the important questions from the human eye and the colorful world. So one of the important chapter, and in this video, you are going to solve the all type of important questions, that is MCQ and 1 mark questions, 2, 3 and 4 mark questions, and this will be very helpful for your board exam preparation. Okay, and these all questions are from the uh, old question paper as well as from the model question paper. Okay, and you will get the questions as well as answer in the single video on this chapter, and very helpful for your last minute preparation. Okay, yes, let us start with the first question. Observe the given figure, identify the eye defect indicated in this figure. So observe the figure. Option A, presbyopia. Option B, hypermetropia. Option C, myopia. Option D, cataract. Here, observe the given figure and identify the eye defect indicated in this figure. So here, we can see the formation of image that is not on the retina. So that is just in front of the retina. So we can say that is myopia. Option C, that is myopia. Okay, the correct answer is myopia. Observe the following table. Here, material and the refractive index is given. So the medium P, that is having 1.52 refractive index, QRS is given, and 1.44, 2.42 and 1.33 is the refractive index. In which material medium does the speed of light is very high? Option A Q, option B P, option C S, and option D R. Here, the material which is having the less refractive index, the speed of the light will be very high. Okay, so we can say that the medium S, that is 1.33 from S. So that is having the high refractive index. Next question. The sky as seen from the surface of the moon appears dark because only a little of the blue and violet colors are scattered. All the colors are absorbed by the atmosphere present in the moon. All the colors are scattered, and option D, atmospheric particles needed to scatter the light are not present. Here, from the moon appears dark because the atmospheric particles needed to scatter the light. So, without atmospheric particle, the light, so it will not scatter. So, in the moon, there is no atmospheric particle. So, the sky from the moon looks dark. Option D is the correct answer. Next question. The human eye can focus on objects at different distances by adjusting the focal length of an eye lens. This is due to Option A, presbyopia. Option B, nearsightedness. Option C, accommodation. Option D, farsightedness. So the correct answer is because of accommodation. Option C, because of the accommodation, are able to accommodate the adjusting the focal length of the eye lens. The human eye forms the image of an object at its cornea, iris, pupil, retina. The image that is formed on the retina. Option D is the correct answer, that is retina. Next question. The least distance of distinct vision for a young adult with normal vision is, the least distance of a distinct vision for a young adult with normal vision is about option A 25 meter, option B 2.5 centimeter, option C 25 centimeter, option D 2.5 meter. The correct answer is option C 25 centimeter. Option C is the correct answer. Next question. The change in the focal length of an eye lens is caused by the action of the pupil, retina, ciliary muscles, iris. The change in the focal length of an eye lens, that is due to the ciliary muscles. Option C, that is ciliary muscles. Next question. A type of lens used to correct the nearsightedness. Option A, convex lens. Option B, concave lens. Option C, bifocal lens. Option D, concave convex lens. Here, a type of lens used to correct the nearsightedness, that is the concave lens. Option B, that is the concave lens. Next question. The color of the sky as seen from above the moon. Option A, blue. Option B, purple. Option C, red. Option D, black. The correct answer is option D, black. Next question. The crystalline lens of the people at old age becomes milky and cloudy. This condition is called option A, cataract. Option B, myopia. Option C, presbyopia. Option D, hypermetropia. Here, the crystalline lens of the people at old age become milky and cloudy. That is the cataract. Myopia, that is nearsightedness, and presbyopia, that is due to the defect in the eye lens, and hypermetropia, that is farsightedness. The color that is least scattered by fog and smoke is option A, orange. Option B, blue. C, red. And D, violet. The color that is least scattered by fog and smoke is, that is option C, red. Identify the wrong statements among the following statements regarding the refraction and dispersion of light. Option A, stars twinkle. Option B, sky appears blue to an astronaut flying at the very high altitudes. Option C, the sun is visible to us about 2 minutes before the actual sunrise. D, planets do not twinkle. Here, identify the wrong statements among the following statement regarding the diffraction and dispersion of light. That is, the sky appears blue to an astronaut flying at very high altitudes. The sky does not look blue, it looks dark or black color due to the absence of the particles. Next question. The crystalline lens of eye in an old age people sometimes becomes milky and cloudy. This condition is called as option D, cataract. Sorry. Option D is the correct answer. So next we are discussing the 1 mark questions. What is refraction of light? Here, refraction is the bending of light as it passes from transparent substances into another. Next question, what is Tyndall effect? Second question, what is Tyndall effect? Here, the phenomenon of scattering of light by the colloidal particles gives rise to Tyndall effect. The phenomenon of scattering of light by the colloidal particles gives rise to the Tyndall effect. Okay. That is the 1 mark question. What is meant by power accommodation of the eye? What is meant by power accommodation of the eye? The ability of the eye to focus the distant objects as well as the nearby objects on the retina by changing the focal length or converging the power of its lens is called accommodation. Here the normal eye has the power accommodation, that is near object 25 centimeter as far as infinity to be focused on its retina. Next question. What is the far point and the near point of the human eye with normal vision? What is the near point and what is the far point of the human eye with the normal vision? Here, far point of the human eye with normal vision is near than the infinity and near point is 25 centimeter. Next question. Why is the normal eye not able to see clearly the object placed closer than 25 centimeter? Please note down the question. The maximum accommodation of a normal eye is reached when the object is at distance of 25 centimeter from the eye. The focal length of eye lens cannot be decreased below this minimum limit. Thus, an object placed closer than the 25 centimeter or very close to eye cannot be seen clearly by a normal eye. Next question. So next we are discussing the some 2-mark questions. Okay. What is dispersion of light? Mention the color that bends the least and the color bends the most when the light undergoes the dispersion through a prism. Here, the splitting of white light into its constituent colors, that is called as the dispersion of light. The splitting of white light into its constituent is called as the dispersion of light. Here, violet light bends the most. Here, the mention the color which bends the most. Here, violet light bends the most, having the shortest wavelength, and red bends the least. Red color, that is the least bending color, and the violet color, that is the most bending color. Okay. Next question. A student sitting in the last bench has difficulty in reading the blackboard writing. Which is the defect of vision the student has? How can it be corrected? Okay, here a student who was sitting at the last bench is difficult in reading, then reading the blackboard. Then which defect of vision the student has? How can it be corrected here? The far object is not visible, nearer object is visible. So the student has myopia or nearsightedness, and it is corrected by using the concave lens. Next question. In the given figure AB, the incident ray, this is from the light chapter, BC is refracted ray and the MN is the normal to the point of incidence. Which medium is more denser? Why? Here, the refracted ray, that is bending towards the normal. So it is not bending away from the normal. So we can say that medium 1 is denser medium than the medium 2, because the refracted ray, that is bending towards the normal. Okay. The ray is bending towards the normal. Observe the given figure. Name the eye defect indicated in the figure and also mention the lens used for the correct of this defect. Here you can see the image formation. So if you observe the image formation, this is the which one eye defect, that is the myopia. And Which lens is used here? Concave lens. Next question. Mention any four phenomena that can be observed due to the atmospheric refraction of light on the earth. Mention any four phenomena that can be observed due to the atmospheric refraction of light on the earth. So that is twinkling of stars, early sunrise and delayed sunset, apparent change in the position of the sun and stars, blue sky. So these all are the examples for the atmospheric refraction of the light. Next question. A person with myopia, I cannot see objects beyond 1.2 meter distinctly. What should be the type of corrective lens used to restore the proper vision? Here already given the eye defect is that is myopia. So 1.2 meter means that is the far objects are not visible properly. So here a person with myopic eye cannot see objects beyond 1.2 meter distinctly because in myopic eye the image of distant object is formed in front of the retina. So that is formed in front of the retina. This defect can be corrected by using the concave lens. Okay. So here which lens are used? Concave lens are used for the correction. What happens to the image distance in the eye when we increase the distance of an object from the eye? Here, the distance eye lens and the retina is the image distance inside the eye. The image distance is fixed. It cannot be changed at all. Therefore, when we increase the distance of an object from the eye, there is no change in the image distance inside the eye. Next question. What is spectrum of white light? Name any two phenomena that occur in the atmosphere due to the refraction of light. Here, what is spectrum of white light? So you have to write the definition of spectrum of white light. And name any two phenomena that occur in the atmosphere due to the refraction of light, that is twinkling of the stars, twinkling of the stars, then early sunrise and delayed sunset, early sunrise and the delayed sunset. So that is due to the refraction of the light in the atmosphere. Next question. What is cataract of eye? What are the near point and far point of the human eye with normal vision? What are the near point and the far point, the human eye with the normal vision here? Cataract is the cloudy area that forms in the lens of eye causing vision loss. Cataracts are common part of aging and can defect one or both the eyes. Here, what are the near point and the far point? Near point, that is the 25 centimeter, and far point, that is the uh, near infinity. Okay. How does our eye accommodate to see the objects at different levels? So we are going to see the answer in the next part. How does our eye accommodate to see the objects at different level distances? That is also 2 mark question. Then stars appear to be twinkling. Why? So this is also a 2 mark question. Here. So here I have given the complete explanation. So the twinkling of stars, that is due to the atmospheric refraction. Okay. So here complete explanation. So you have to reduce it for the 2 marks. The twinkling of star, that is due to the refraction of the atmospheric sun of starlight. The atmospheric refraction occurs in a medium gradually changing refractive index. So next we are discussing the 3 mark questions. Okay. Let us start with the first question. Draw the diagram, show the recombination of the spectrum of white light and label the following parts. The ray that bends the most and the ray that bends the least. So you have to draw the diagram. This is the diagram. The ray that bends the most is the violet and the ray that bends the least is the red. Next question. Why do stars twinkle? What is the reason for the twinkling of the stars? The twinkling of star is due to the atmospheric refraction of starlight. The atmospheric refraction occurs in a medium of gradually changing refractive index. Since the atmosphere bends the starlight towards the normal, the apparent position of the star is slightly different from the actual position. So it appears different from the actual position. This apparent position of the star is not stationary but keeps on changing slightly as the physical condition of the Earth's atmosphere are not stationary. Since the stars are very distant, they approximate points as sources of light. As the path of rays light coming from the star goes on varying slightly, the apparent position of the star fluctuates and the amount of starlight entering the eye flickers, some other time fainter, which is the twinkling effect. Next question. Explain why the planets do not twinkle. Why the planets do not twinkle? The planets are much closer to the Earth and are thus seen as the extended sources. If we consider a plant as a planet, okay, so if we consider a planet as the collection of large number of points as sources of light, the total variation in the amount of light entering our eye from all the individual points as sources will be averaged up to 0. So therefore nullifying the twinkling effect. Please note down the question. Why does sky appear dark instead of blue to an astronaut? When sunlight passes through the atmosphere, the fine particles in air scatter the blue color. The shorter wavelength more strongly than the red. The scattered blue light enters our eyes. If the earth had no atmosphere, there would not have been any scattering. So you have to include this. If the earth had no atmosphere, there not have been any scattering, then the sky would have looked dark. The sky would have looked dark. The sky appears dark to astronauts flying at very high altitude as scattering is not prominent at such heights. Next question. What is presbyopia? Explain how to correct this defect. Explain presbyopia. Here. The power accommodation of the eye usually decreases with aging. For most people, the near point gradually recedes away. They find it difficult to see the nearby objects comfortably and distinctly without corrective eyeglasses. It arises due to the gradual weakening of the ciliary muscles and diminishing the flexibility of the eye lens. Sometimes a person may suffer from both myopia and hypermetropia. Such people often require bifocal lens. A common type of bifocal lens consists of both concave and the convex lens. Next question. Explain the Tyndall effect. This is also 3-mark question. The Earth's atmosphere is heterogeneous mixture of minute particles. These particles include the smoke, tiny water droplets, suspended particles, everything. So when the beam of light strikes such on fine particles, the path of the beam becomes visible The light reaches us after being reflected diffusely by these particles, and the phenomenon of scattering of light by the colloidal particles gives rise to the Tyndall effect. Okay, so that you can see when the sunlight enters in a smoke filled room and scattering of and also observe when the sunlight passes through the canopy of dense forest. So that is the examples. Why does sun appear reddish early in the morning? Yes, so this is the answer. Please note down the answer. Why does sun appears red early in the morning? Draw the neat diagram showing the near point of hypermetropic eye, hypermetropic eye, and correction for the hypermetropic eye. So here, near point of a hypermetropic eye, hypermetropic eye, and the correction of the hypermetropic eye. So these are the three diagrams you have to practice. Okay, so this question, same question also asked in the question paper, near point of hypermetropic eye and the hypermetropic eye, correction of the hypermetropic eye. So here, this diagrams, ray diagrams you have to practice. What is dispersion of light? Explain the formation of rainbow in the nature. Here, the dispersion of light is the process of splitting of white light into its individual colors. Here, how the rainbow occur in the nature? When the sunlight passes through the water droplets in the atmosphere, the light dispersed into individual colors. The water droplets act like tiny prisms, refracting and dispersing the light. The different colors bend at different angles, separating the white light into spectrum of colors. This spectrum is what we say as the rainbow. So that is the how the rainbow is formed in the nature. Next question, what is Tyndall effect? The color of the sky is blue. Why? Explain. This is also 3-mark question from the model question paper. The phenomenon of scattering of light by the colloidal particles gives rise to the Tyndall effect. Here, the molecules of air and other fine particles in the atmosphere have size smaller than the wavelength of visible light. There is a more effective in scattering. These are more effective in scattering light of shorter wavelengths at the blue end than the longer wavelengths at the red end. The red light has wavelength about 1.8 times greater than the blue light. Thus, when the sunlight passes through the atmosphere, the fine particles scatter the blue color. So that reaches our sky and the sky looks blue color. Yes, draw the diagram to show the recombination of the spectrum of white light. This is the diagram. Next question. So this is the 4-mark question. How does human eye accommodate to see the nearby objects and the distant object? Explain. Explain the formation of rainbow in nature. So these two questions separately asked in 2-mark and 3-mark question, right? Already we have discussed this. Please note down the answer. This is the answer for the first one. The eye lens is composed of fibrous jelly-like material. Its curvature can be modified some extent by the ciliary muscles. Here, ciliary muscles are helping for this. The change in the curvature of eye lens can thus change its focal length. When the muscles are relaxed, the lens becomes thin. Thus, its focal length increases. This enables to see the distant object clearly. When we are looking the objects closer to eye, the ciliary muscles contract. This increases the curvature of the eye lens. The eye lens then becomes thicker. Consequently, the focal length of eye lens decreases. This enables us to see the nearby objects clearly. Next question, next answer. So how the rainbow formed in our nature. So this is the answer. Please note down this. How does rainbow form in nature? That is the same question what we discussed in the last question. Explain. Mention the color of light that bends the most and that bends the least. Here, this is for the 2 mark. And how does eye lens accommodate to see the distant objects and nearby objects? Explain. So that is also 2 mark question. So that is totally 4 mark question. Please note down the question. So this is also repeated question in exam. Already we know the answer for how rainbow is formed and accommodate how does eye lens accommodate the distant objects and the nearby object, that also we know. And here mention the colors of light that bends the most and that bends the least. Red light bends the least and violet light bends the most. That is the answer. Next question. Explain the hypermetropia. Write the causes for hypermetropia and also write the correction measures. Okay, so this is also 4 mark question. Explain the hypermetropia, how the hypermetropia, so that is caused. Write the causes, what is the reason for the hypermetropia and the correction measures. Okay, so take it as a homework and practice this question, these all questions, so that will be very helpful for your board exam. Okay, thank you dear students.